Hey guys, this is just a little bit of disclaimer before I start. I want you guys to know that I have eating disorders myself. I've struggled with eating disorders. I used to be 590 pounds. I know what eating disorders are and how they affect a person. I'm not going after people with eating disorders. I'm not even going after Demi Lovato for her eating disorder. But I am going after Demi for her self-righteous attitude, thinking that everything in the world needs to be catered to her. She's giving off this vibe of a celebrity who needs to have every little thing her way, and that is what ultimately pisses me off. So this is not me going after Demi's eating disorders. This is not me going after her struggles. No, this is me getting tired of someone not rising above their struggles and constantly sitting and wallowing in self-pity. So please take this as all of my opinion. This is not me making any personal attacks about her struggles or her difficulties. I just wish she would stop using them constantly as an excuse for why she throws temper tantrums and doesn't get her way. Thank you guys very much, and I hope you enjoy the video.
Definitely jumped to conclusions and probably shouldn't have, gone about this the way that I have, but I'm willing to talk to this froyo shop to help get the messaging right. What I don't feel good about is some of the way that it's been interpreted and how the message has gotten misconstrued over all of it. I will do whatever I can to work with this froyo shop if they want to help align the messaging so where I feel safe going in there and I can eat the froyo that I went in there for. I will work with them on that. That is something I'm dedicated to do because I want to make LA and this whole country a safer, and this whole fucking world, a safer environment. People with eating disorders should be able to go in and feel safe wherever they go to eat. That's all I'm asking. Literally all I'm asking. So I'm so sorry if it got misconstrued. I don't know. I'm genuinely sorry that people took it the wrong way. I just get really passionate. And y'all know me. I'm pretty feisty and sometimes my emotions get the best of me. It's never coming out of a place of hate. It's always coming out of a place of love and trying to lift people up. So, I understand that didn't lift the froyo place up.
No, Demi, you most certainly did not lift the froyo place up, and you did not even apologize. You skirted around saying the words, "I'm sorry for what I did." All you did was say, "I'm sorry it was misconstrued," which is basically the same way of saying, "I'm sorry you feel that way." It's okay to say, "I'm sorry my message was misconstrued," after you say, "I'm sorry I attacked a business." Whether it's a small business, big business, doesn't really matter. If you're in the wrong, you're in the wrong. And you want to talk about, eating disorders and everything like that. I struggle with obesity. I'm obese right now. So I have eating disorders. Trust me. Obese and anorexia are two sides of the same coin. But I want to tell you this. I used to have so much respect for you growing up. I used to love you and So Random. I used to love you on Sitting with a Chance, all these programs. But then you took a big turn. And I still understand and respect your struggle. You got out of it. That's very commendable. Good on you. But now it seems you want to still wallow in self-pity. And I used to do that for many, many years until I just, snapped out of it and broke out of it. I'm not trying to get too religious here, but put my faith back in God and just really got out of my depression. You seem to want to still stay wallowing in your depression. And you want to stay wallowing in everything. And the fact that even just a little bit of dietary stuff triggers you is just amazing. In that same Instagram video, she said, "I was just mad because I got triggered by all the dietary stuff and it wasn't clearly labeled. And if it was labeled celiac or vegan or whatever, then I would have understood. And I so needed this to happen this way. And I was mad that I didn't get the froyo that I wanted." Well, poor little Miss Demi Lovato, let me tell you something, baby. Let me tell you something. Sometimes in life you don't get what you want. You just don't. And if you're going to cry and you're going to complain about every little thing that happens to you, if you're going to be pissed off because you don't get the little things that you want. And you are being a big baby. You're going off after a small business because they didn't have everything labeled to your very specific needs. Maybe instead of forcing the world to conform to you because you're like, oh, I'm willing to help the business change its messaging so I can feel more comfortable. Well, maybe you shouldn't feel comfortable all the time. Ever think about that? Maybe you should not feel constantly comfortable. It's not a good thing to constantly want to feel comfortable. Seriously. I was close to being at risk for diabetes. I never looked at any type of dessert shop and was like, oh, I'm triggered because they're selling sugary stuff and there are no diabetic options here. No, I never did that. You know why? Because I was not someone who was going to force my disability down other people's throats. You know what most people do, most sane people do when they see stuff like that? They're like, oh, they have different options. They have, fat-free options, low-carb options, low-calorie options. They just look at it as different options for you to look at. Now, I am not here to make people feel bad if they do feel bad about seeing stuff like that. But there are ways that you can react to it that are different. You are in a position of power, Demi. You have all this power, all these fans, and as much as you want to say, well, I'm not here trying to be someone coming after a small business with my millions of fans. You are that person coming after a small business with your millions of fans. That's exactly what you're doing here, dude. And you know what? It is so tiring to see celebrities not apologize for things. They'll say, I'm sorry you feel that way. And that's what this whole thing was a big ol' I'm sorry you feel that way. I'm not sorry for what I did, because she even said, I'm not sorry for what I said. She even said that in her video. She was like, I'm not sorry for my messaging. I'm just sorry that you misconstrued what I said. I'm very passionate for what I said, about what I say, and that, it can just be taken the wrong way sometimes because I get so passionate, and I'm sorry people feel like that. That's what you said in your video. And I have the clips and everything. I have those things, and I'm sure a lot of people have seen the Instagram video. I know what she said. This is a paraphrased rant. Demi, you're a self-centered, selfish person. You really are. And you want to say, you said this quote, someone told you that a celebrity can do something right every single day of the week, but you do that one thing wrong, and that's what they focus on. And that's the one thing, and this is the one thing that people are focusing on. You think that you've done everything right? You come off as condescending, self-centered, and full of yourself in this entire, quote, apology video, where you didn't say sorry one time for your actions. You were just like, well, I'm a victim here too, is what it came off as. It's exactly what it came off as, was I'm a victim here too. Feel sorry for me. They should have had clearer markings of their dietary choices. It triggered me. In my feelings. What about me? And it's just so tiring. It is so tiring. There are my best friend has a medical disorder. I think my friend's anemic. So I understand these positions. I'm not here to bash people with disorders, but when you act the way that you do, when you throw a temper tantrum at a business because they don't have everything exactly the way you want it to be, that's where the big problem is. That's where the big issue is. That's where I have the most problem with celebrities. They want everything to be their own way. They don't care about anyone but themselves. They're full of it. They're self-centered. And that's exactly how it is. That's exactly how it is. Demi, you are not the victim here. That frozen yogurt place is the victim. I didn't even know the story until an Instagram follower I follow posted about it, and I'm like, okay, what's going on? So I went to Demi Lovato's page. Someone commented on the Instagram person's feed saying, well, Demi gave an apology, and she said no, she didn't. She said, I'm sorry it was misconstrued, which is not an apology. That is not an apology. An apology is, I'm sorry I lost my temper. I'm sorry I lost I got angry. I'm sorry I took things and blew things way out of proportion. She did not say anything of that nature. She did not say anything to that caliber. No, it was all, I'm sorry you felt like that. I'm just a passionate person. I'm sorry you feel that way, but I'm just so vocal about what I do. That's what it is, Demi. That's the whole thing. And so your apology sucks. Your apology is appalling. It's a bad apology. You have lived with this. You got upset because you couldn't get your frozen yogurt. Do you realize how entitled that sounds? How entitled that is? If frozen, you're like, well, I know it may sound ridiculous to some people, because it is ridiculous. It is ridiculous. I understand wanting frozen yogurt. I understand. But you said, well, a girl's got to eat 3 times a day. Yeah, but you don't necessarily need frozen yogurt, do you? I understand the want for having frozen yogurt, but you don't need frozen yogurt. So your whole point of you need to eat 3 times a day is garbage. It's just absolute trash. I don't buy it, Demi. It's absolute trash. So you are not having any sympathy from me and a lot of other people because you're using your disorder and your recovery as a way to make excuses for your piss poor behavior. You were shaming the company because they didn't meet your expectations. Are you gonna throw a big temper tantrum every single time you walk into a small business, or any business for that matter, and it does not have the very specific things that you need? You do know they're not required to have that, right? Just like a company's not required to have gluten-free options. It's nice that they do, but they're not required to. And most rational people, most people that have, half a semblance of decency in their lives. I'm trying to be careful with my wording because I'm not attacking her for her past struggles. I'm not. I'm just going after her for what she did right now in this instance. That's what I'm doing. So anybody with half a bit of decency would just be like, okay, I don't like the way this place looks. I'm just going to leave. I'm not going to make a big deal out of it. And I'm going to go to my car. I'm going to drive off to a different frozen yogurt place. Because trust me, it's LA. I'm sure there are like 500 million frozen yogurt joints there. So you just need to get over yourself, Demi. You just need to get over yourself. I have no sympathy for you. I used to respect you a lot. But over the past few years, it's just become, oh, look at me, I'm wallowing in my self-pity. All of my songs are about, activism, this, Black Lives Matter, this, and, I'm gonna make a whole song about President Trump and all this other stuff, stunning and brave stuff. And this is not even me getting political. I don't give a crap what a person's politics are. I'm talking about how all of your stuff, all of your music as of right now has become more and more wallowing in self-pity, saying the same crap everyone else says over and over and over again, and then more wallowing in self-pity. It's getting old. It's getting really old. You're acting like a baby. And you need to be called out for it. It's just Hollywood in general. Regardless of your politics, we should be able to agree Hollywood in general is full of nothing but elitist babies. And if anyone in the Hollywood sphere speaks out against what's known as the status quo, against what's normal, they get cast aside. Just look at Gina Carano. You don't have to like Gina Carano to know that she was unfairly treated. Because Hollywood is allowed to say one thing, and if somebody else with a different political stance says the exact same thing or a similar thing, oh, they get tossed aside because it's wrong. And Demi is just more and more proof that you can cry hard enough, and all of a sudden, boom, you're instantly forgiven. So I'm rambling just like she was. So I apologize for that, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. I appreciate it. If you liked it, hit the like button. If you didn't like it, hit the dislike button. Comment down below telling me what you think. Subscribe and hit the bell icon if you want to see more of my content. And share this video because it tells the algorithm that you like what you saw. This is Gabe of Happy Love Fish Productions signing off, saying take care and God bless. Peace out, everybody.